Welcome back to C Motor. Today we are diving into a rare and classic off-road legend, reborn in modern imagination. The 2026 Kawasaki KM100. Imagine a bike that combines old-school, two-stroke spirit with modern engineering, reliability, and style. Visuals open with sunrise light hitting a dusty trail. A modern KM100 stands parked beside a vintage original model. Slow cinematic pan from front wheel to fuel tank, showing retro Kawasaki-inspired graphics. Blended with modern materials. The host walks toward the bike wearing riding gear, helmet in hand, and speaks with excitement about how small displacement. Off-road bikes are making a huge comeback worldwide, the host continues, explaining that the original KM100 was a lightweight, enduro machine designed for beginners, trail riders and commuters who wanted simplicity and durability. Visuals show archive-style footage of vintage, 1970s enduro riding, mixed with cinematic shots of the imagined 2026 version, riding through forests, sand trails, and rocky terrain. The voiceover talks about how simple machines often create the strongest emotional connection between rider and motorcycle, because they are easy to maintain, light to handle, and fun to ride anywhere. The host shifts toward design possibilities. Visuals show studio lighting shots of the 2026 concept, KM100 rotating on a platform. The fuel tank is slim and narrow for easy knee grip. The seat is flat and long for rider movement during off-road riding. The exhaust design keeps classic two-stroke styling, but uses modern emission technology styling. The host explains that a modern KM would likely keep classic enduro in a high front fender, wire spoke wheels, simple frame structure, and minimal body panels. But with modern touches like LED headlight, digital meter, and lighter alloys. The host continues explaining the historical roots of the KM100. Visuals show blueprint-style animation of the original engine. The original bike used a small single-cylinder, two-stroke engine around 100 cc, producing roughly 8 to 9 horsepower. Paired with a 5-speed gearbox and simple air cooling system, the host explains how this level of power was perfect for learning, riders, and trail exploration, offering enough speed for fun, but still manageable and beginner-friendly. Visuals show the concept 2026 version engine, with modern fuel injection, styling, and improved cooling channels. The host explains how lightweight motorcycles build rider confidence. Visuals show beginner rider learning clutch control, hill climbs, and trail turns. The host explains that small displacement bikes help riders focus on skill, instead of fighting heavy weight or extreme power. The imagined 2026 KM100 keeps this philosophy alive. Lightweight frame, predictable throttle response, and easy maintenance design. The host moves into technology possibilities. Visuals show digital instrument cluster turning on. With animated startup sequence, the host explains. The 2026 version could include a full digital display, showing speed gear indicator, trip info, and engine temperature. LED lighting would improve night visibility while reducing power consumption. USB charging port could be added for adventure and long rides, but the host emphasizes that Kawasaki would likely keep the bike simple. To stay true to KM heritage, the host now talks about riding experience. Visuals show trail riding POV shots through forests and muddy tracks. The host explains that the KM100 series was never about extreme racing speed. It was about freedom exploration and mechanical simplicity. The imagined 2026 version would likely focus on torque delivery, smooth low RPM performance, and strong reliability for daily riding and weekend adventure. The host discusses suspension possibilities. Visuals show slow-motion suspension compression over rocks and logs. The front forks would likely be longer travel than old models. The rear monoshock could offer adjustable preload for different rider weights and cargo loads. The host explains that modern suspension would dramatically improve comfort compared to vintage models while keeping off-road capability. The host moves toward global market appeal. Visuals show riders from different countries riding similar bikes. The host explains that small dual sport bikes are popular in Asia, South America, and Africa because they are affordable, reliable, and fuel efficient. The 2026 KM100 concept could become a global, beginner adventure bike if released. The host shifts to emotional storytelling. Visuals show father teaching son how to ride, friends riding together on mountain trails. The host explains that motorcycles like KM100 are not just machines, they are memories. First rides, first adventures, and first freedom moments. The host now talks about customization potential. Visuals show different color options: classic green, black stealth edition, retro white, and red racing theme. The host explains that small bikes are often customized, with luggage racks, off-road tires, and adventure accessories. The host moves towards safety improvements. Visuals show braking test animations. The 2026 concept might include front disc brake upgrade, better tire compounds, and improved frame rigidity. The host explains how modern safety features can transform beginner riding confidence. The host discusses fuel efficiency. Visuals show long road ride through countryside. Small displacement engines usually deliver excellent mileage, making them practical for daily commuting and adventure riding. The host shifts toward engine sound character. Visuals show slow rev shots in studio. The host explains how two-stroke sound is iconic, but modern regulations might push manufacturers toward cleaner engine designs, while keeping classic feel through exhaust tuning and engine mapping. The host talks about durability and maintenance. Visuals show mechanics servicing bike easily. The host explains that simple bikes reduce maintenance costs and make ownership easier, especially for new riders. The host now compares lifestyle usage. Visuals show rider commuting in city traffic, then riding same bike off-road on weekend. The KM concept fits both worlds, practical transport and fun weekend adventure machine. The host begins closing thoughts. Visuals show sunset ride silhouette. The host explains that the spirit of bikes like KM100 represents pure motorcycling, lightweight, mechanical simplicity and riding joy without unnecessary complexity. The host concludes with excitement and optimism. Visuals show final cinematic riding shots through forest trails. The host says that if a modern KM100 ever returns, it could become one of the most loved small adventure motorcycles globally. Thank you for watching C-Motor. If you love classic-inspired modern motorcycles, make sure to like, subscribe, and share this video. Tell us in comments, would you ride a modern KM100 if Kawasaki made it again? Stay tuned for more legendary motorcycle stories and future concept explorations. This is C-Motor, and we will see you in the next ride.